Hello everybody, Ninjas here, and how are you today? Today we're going to be doing a kind of quick and dirty video on the new Allods 9.0.1 patch. Not 9.1, 9.0.1. So this is a small patch that's an update after the last 9.0 patch, Awakening. Anyways, so I got some stuff to talk about. Unfortunately, the patch notes that I was able to find are not the most in-depth. I've tried to go in and find some of this stuff in-game and figure it out for you guys, but I haven't been able to do that as much as I would like to have. But we're going to jump in here. It's going to be a pretty quick video, and again, I can't show you as much as I would like to have simply because I haven't been able to get to it or find the content. But here we go. So, first and foremost, the big news is the continuation of the storyline from the last point. So, spoiler alert if you haven't gotten to the end game yet, but where you left off, where you were... There's all of that stuff going on. So the storyline of that actually continues, and you're going to be trying to find a way of ridding yourself of Nihaz's, the God of Darkness's, influence. And so what you're going to see is you're going to come in, and when you log in, you're going to get a couple pieces of mail. One from Skolnar the Fierce, and one from Phoebus. And if it's been a while, you might also get one from the Allods team saying, welcome back. You'll get a couple other mails too, but we'll go into those in a minute. So those are both going to be quest things. One of them is going to be telling you about a new Dionic game that is called the Call of Horror. So if you're into PvP and the Dionic games, that's something you might want to check out. That's about all the info I have on that one, really. But that's for the Dionic games. There's also the one from Skolnar the Fierce. And if you remember that name, that's the like psionic orc guy from the previous part of the storyline. So kind of your buddy. So you'll find a letter from him in your post box, and open that, use the item that he sends you, and then you go and meet him back at the Dionic Archipelago. That's about it. I'm not going to spoil any more of the storyline or anything for you. Go ahead and check it out yourself if you want. Next up, we're going to move on here. You probably have noticed, hopefully by now, that my skill bar is empty. So when you log back in, you're probably going to see that your skill has been reset. All your skill tree is going to be zeroed out, and all of your stat points are also going to have been reset. So, you know, have fun building a new build. This is because they've gone through and they've changed some of the stuff in the talent trees. Now, the changes aren't super obvious or super dramatic, but they do seem to be kind of far-reaching across all classes as far as I can tell. And I haven't noticed a huge amount except for some renaming stuff. For example, the skill here, what was it? Break. If I remember correctly, this used to be called Respite, but there was a weird naming issue with this skill because this said it was using Break, whereas previously it said using Respite. So this always seemed to be a weird skill that didn't line up with the name. I kind of assumed it meant Respite, but it always said Break. So they fixed that by renaming the proper skill to Break instead of Respite. Unfortunately, they broke the skill right next to it because it still calls it Respite on this one instead of renaming this one to Break as well. But Respite, Break, same thing if you're a warrior. They're the same skill. There's a couple of other tiny little tweaks that they've done to the warrior skill tree. I'm not going to go into all the differences on everybody's skill tree. One, because I don't know what they all are, and I would spend ages trying to cover them. And two, because I'd spend ages trying to go over them all for you. So, yeah, trying to explain all that stuff would just be a nightmare. But anyways, when you log in, you should find that you have been reset. Now, with that, hopefully you're seeing this in the near future of when I record it, because you're going to want to come in here and check the post box. You're going to be getting 2 letters. One of them is going to be from a trainer, and it's going to give you a Water of Life droplets. The other one's going to be from a priest, giving you a Water of Death droplets. Now, why the priest gives you Water of Death and the trainer gives you water of life. It seems a bit reversed to me, but whatever. Anyways, the thing that you want to do, though, is get in here and get these, because you only have 30 days from when they mail these to you to claim them. If these mail expire, as you see here, I've got 23 days left. 23 days left before these disappear on me. And they will disappear. That's it. They're gone. So, if you don't know what these are, the Water of Life droplets gives you 7 days, so a full week, where you can reset your stats as much as you want. You just go talk to the trainer, and as long as you've got this item in your inventory for the full week, you can just keep resetting your stats, and it doesn't consume this item. The Water of Death droplets does the same thing, but it's for your skills. So you'll be able to completely reset your build and reappropriate it as much as you want to over the course of a week with these items. So definitely worth picking up. I think they're actually worth a couple bucks here in the cash shop. If you go in here, I'm just doing this kind of for my own curiosity here. Water. There you go. Water of Life droplets, 730. Water of Death droplets, 730. So, I mean, you're looking at, decent chunk of change worth of items there that they just are giving everybody for free because they've changed the way that some of the skills work and reset everybody's build. So, take advantage of it and use it to hone your build if you would like to. Just make sure you get in and claim those before you run out of time. There's been some new changes to personal allods, something about Embrium and like lost settlers moving in on your allod, and they'll produce this resource for you, which you can then use to spend and power things up. I don't know a whole lot about that. I haven't been able to finish building my personal allod yet. I haven't put a lot of effort into it. But that's one thing. There are new achievements. There are a couple new maps and things for Heroic Adventures, Lab 731, and Silent Whirlpool. So if you're interested in Heroic Adventures, that's one thing. There is the Al Rihat area has made a return to the game. Unfortunately, I have not been able to figure out how to get to that, so I can't show it to you. But I have been assured that it is in the game, and this is supposed to be an area that you get to, and you will be doing like a bunch of repeatable quests and things like that, and you'll be able to get gear. So I believe it had something to do with Umoir, but again, I haven't been able to quite get to it yet to show you guys that. But that's supposed to be able to get you gear and equipment for, I'm assuming astrals and stuff. But yeah, that's all the info I've really got on that. Aside from that, if you're into PvP, there's a new control point capture map called the Tower of Order. Looked pretty cool. I am not into PvP, so I will not really be bothering with that. And another thing that's actually very interesting, I find, and I will be showing you this, is a change that they've actually made to Novigrad. Now, if you're a longtime player and you've been in Novigrad a lot, you might notice this. If you're not, and you're like an Empire player or something like that, first of all, geez, what are you doing on the Empire side? Come on. Just kidding. Second of all, play whatever you want to play. If you want to be Empire, go for it. If you want to be League, go for it. But anyways, those of you that have been long-term residents of the Novigrad here would maybe remember that this used to be just a big old pile of pallets and scaffolding and lumber here. Unfortunately, I don't have any like previous video footage that specifically looks at this stuff, but yeah, here you go. So this is a full-fledged building now. Unfortunately, you can't go inside of it, but it's no longer under construction. They've finished building it. And, I mean, looks all right, I guess. Wasn't really going to focus on that too much, but there you go. Something that's kind of cool, though, is it's nice to see that they've taken these areas of Novigrad that were in construction and finished building them. And outside here in the front area, they did the same thing. There is these areas that used to be just big piles of building resources, and now they are actually completed buildings. So not a big deal, but it's a pretty cool little thing that they've actually been kind of progressing the city as it goes, and areas that were under construction are now finished building. There's these wells that are up on this side of Novograd. And it looks like they've just done these little things to kind of update the city now. So, very, very cool. Again, not a big deal, but it's just a cool little detail that they've stuck in. There's another little well over here. So, I think it's pretty cool that they've added this. And again, if you're a League player, you may have noticed this. If you're an Empire player, doesn't matter to you. You're not going to care. But there you got it. I don't know that these have any significance whatsoever, or that they're going to have any effect on the future of the game, such as if they're going to add any more NPCs or anything to the game for these areas. I don't really expect that, but yeah, there's that. And the very, very last thing that we're going to be checking out is another nice little feature. Not a huge deal, but some people may actually really like this, and that is for the demonologists. Previously, if you wanted to be a demonologist, you were a bit more limited in your class and race choice. Or not your class, demonologist is the class, but you were limited more in your race choice. Now, they have added 2 more races, the ability to go and become demonologist. So let's pop in here. And there you go, right there. The elves are now capable of being metamorphs, which is their demonologist class, not to be confused with the one that actually says demonologist. And, I don't know why they don't rename this, but this demonologist here that says demonologist is actually a summoner type class, and the metamorph is the class that is properly called demonologist. I don't know why. They just did it that way. It's super confusing for the elves, but hey, if you wanted to play as a demonologist and be an elf, you can do that now. And the other race, if you're on the Empire side, is the Arisen. So the Arisen now have the option of becoming demonologist as well. I believe they're called the Homunculi. So there you go, quick and dirty little patch update. I hope you guys liked it. Sorry I couldn't show you a bit more of the content. I was really hoping I could get in there and find that new area and explore that for you guys and show you a little preview of it. But you're going to have to go in and check it out yourself if you want to see it. So that's that for now. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. In Russian.